fantastic book, yeah? And she went into, she spoke to people who use pornography. And she asked them a question. You know, you watch this pornography and you watch these women do these acts on the screen, but why don't you have mothers, you have wives, you have sisters, you may have daughters. Why do you want it for them? Do you want them to do the same thing? And all of the pornography is, no, we don't want it for our own daughters, our own wives, our own mothers, our own sisters. I said, why? Because they're different from those women on the screens. Those women are dirty, those women are separate from us. Our women are good, our women are clean. Our women, we don't want that for our own women. Because pornography users were separating their women, who they loved, with other people's women, who they had no emotional connection to. So what this tells us is, in our young children, we have to build a very strong emotional connection. When we say to our children, you know, you need to respect women, yeah, we need to build that strong empathy, because boys especially lack empathy today. They lack deep emotional connections. They're meant to be growing up in a society which is unfeeling, where they are meant to be unfeeling. Men don't have feelings, don't have emotions, you know. Don't take away the emotion from that interaction. But we need to build a very strong respect for women, Muslim and non-Muslim women. And there cannot be a separation. Yeah? You can't say, oh, those are non-Muslim women, they are nothing. These are Muslim women, you need to respect them. No. If we say to our child, you know, my wife was telling me this, and this is very strange. She said that at university, the non-Muslim girls would complain to the Muslim sisters, and they would say, look, when the Muslim boys come to speak to you as Muslim sisters, they would lower their gaze, look down, they would respect you in their mannerisms. But when they come to us, they look at us and they speak to us very freely, and they treat us as though we know now how to treat you. So it makes us feel as though they have no respect for us. But Islam say, for the boy, when you see the woman, you lower your gaze in different ways. Shouldn't that be about all women, not just Muslim women? We need to ourselves and our children build very strong values in them, so they understand what it means to treat women with respect. And that has to come. And there's a saying about the best thing you can do for your daughter is to treat your wife well. Yeah, because daughters learn about the interaction between the men and women predominantly initially from the interaction between the man and his wife. And sometimes we think our children, they are not listening to us, or they're not seeing us. But actually, they see everything. They see everything. Yeah? The way we treat our wives is the way they understand how men will treat them in the future. So, we need to be careful about how we treat our wives as husbands here. Yeah? How we treat our wives will be something that's internalized by them subliminally. Yeah? At the point when we don't know how do they soak up this information. They will learn this from our behavior towards our wives. You know, we talked about pornography. Pornography is very dangerous for boys. Yeah? So that's what we talked about, issue of lowering gaze, very important. Yeah? You know, those images that our children see around them are so dangerous. So dangerous. And we may see, oh, it's just an image. You know, it's just an image. You know, it doesn't have any impact. It does. It has it deeply ingrains itself in the hearts and minds of boys especially. Boys are always visual people anyway. Very more visual. Yeah? Boys are visual, girls are more relational. Yeah? So boys, they take in those images. Yeah? So, for example, I was walking my son just a few months ago, and he came across a billboard poster with a woman dressed in a not very good way. And I know that he saw this. Yeah? He is 7, just coming up to 8 years old now. Yeah? So I said to him, what do you think about that? And he said, look, this is wrong. I said, why do you think this is wrong? And he said, look, you know, because this is not how women should be treated. Women should not treat like that. And that's it. It's a 7-year-old for him to understand. But he should understand, the boy should understand this is not acceptable for women to treat us. And this is an important point. Every single day, our children are building up their understanding of what is normal. Every day. Yeah? By what they see around them, by the behavior of the adults around them, by other people and what they do and what they say. They're building a picture of what is normal. If you do not manage the societal understanding of normal, exploitation of women is normal, then they're going to grow up with the understanding this is normal. This is how women should be treated. No, we need to disrupt that necessarily by our interaction with them and by the way we treat them. We also have to teach our children that sex is not dirty. Yeah? Within a marriage, the Sahaba, the Prophet talked about with the Sahaba about the sexual relationship, and he said that when it is a source of reward for a husband and a wife. And the Sahaba, the companions of the Prophet were amazed. What? How can an enjoyable thing like that be a source of reward? And the Prophet said, if you did it in an incorrect way, in a haram way, then you'll get the sin, and if you did it in a halal way, then you get the reward. So he was sending a message here that, look, there's no such thing as sex is dirty, but within the relationship of marriage, it is something which is praiseworthy and excellent, which is blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's the thing we need to send our children. As children, they listen. Sometimes we think our children don't listen to us. Yeah? Our children, they don't listen to us, but they do. They do. And for even our teenagers, we think, oh, they don't listen to us. They do. They listen to everything we say, and they understand expectations. They did a study, and they found that the most permissive parents who give the green light to children to do anything they want, they build children who are permissive, who do what they like, and they've got no boundaries. But parents who set very clear expectations of children, especially if you expect your children to be married, and you make the expectation clear, children are less likely to engage in early sexual behavior. The parental expectation is important for children. No matter what they say, parental expectation is very important for children. We've got to make our expectations clear to them. Cyberbullying, this is something that's become very much in the news. And for girls, this is becoming very, very dangerous. Yeah? Girls are asked by boys to send sexual images of themselves through the text, through multimedia messages on the phone. And lots of girls, they will do this. Yeah? And there's a report from Professor Andy Phippen of Plymouth University, which was published last year in December, and it revealed the sexual culture among 12 to 16-year-olds in our schools. It said that would be unrecognizable to most of their parents. If you went to a school in this country when you were younger, and you went to a secondary school now, and you saw what's happening there, you would think this is a different world, the world that you grew up in, the world that I grew up in. And in his report, that a 15-year-old girl says, I get asked for naked pictures at least 2 or 3 times a week. So boys in her class or boys in her school will send her a message and send me a picture of yourself. So she gets asked for this at least 2 or 3 times a week, she said. I said, you would have seen it. And a boy in one of the focus groups, he said that you have seen a girl's breasts before you've seen her face. Because of the swapping of these images. And we've found there's been situations where boys have got a picture of a girl and then they send it around everywhere. Because girls are very. I read a book. This is called Girls Adrift. Girls on the Edge. Sorry, and it's very good. It's by a psychologist who's been charting the way in which girls become so vulnerable in our societies. And he talked about how girls are so vulnerable that if a girl hasn't shown affection and a boy shows her some affection, she becomes so vulnerable to that boy's affection. And a boy may go talk to her and say, oh, I love you, you are the best thing in my life, you are so important to me. And he'll through this type of emotional language, he'll talk her into doing things that she may not ordinarily do. Yeah? She can become so vulnerable to those messages from those boys. And then she may do something that she will regret later on. It's very difficult. And there's something that's recently become much more a trend amongst girls called, first of all, have you heard of selfies? Have you heard of selfies? Selfies are images that a person takes of themselves, a boy or a girl. Yeah? So they're standing in front of a mirror with a mobile phone, and they're standing in front of a mirror with the mobile phone. They'll put the camera on, and they'll take a picture of themselves through the mirror of themselves. Yeah? And they'll put it on Facebook or whatever. This has been around for a long time. It's called selfies. But there's another thing that's coming up now, to become a trend. It's called naked selfies, where girls take pictures of themselves naked in front of a mirror, and then they put it on the internet. And it goes to all sorts of people. And after it goes on the internet, you don't know where it gets to. You don't know how people see it. It can go everywhere, and you'll never get rid of it for the rest of your life. Now, I want to talk about this, and this is very important, yeah, especially for fathers. You know, for daughters, fathers matter a lot. For boys, fathers matter a lot as well. Yeah, because fathers are the first role models which boys see, and boys can see from their fathers what it means to be a man. But for daughters, girls are even fathers are even more important. You know, in this society today, the primary message that girls are getting is their self-worth equates to how they look. That is the main message that girls are being sent. So it's not important about anything else in your life. The way you look and the way you act, the way it does physically, superficially, the way you beautify yourself, that is the most important thing about you. And everything else is not important. That is the message that girls are getting sent. Yeah? So when we compliment our girls, our daughters, which we must do as fathers, very important to compliment your daughters. Especially, and sons, but when you compliment your daughter, sometimes fathers will say, when a girl dresses up, you look beautiful, or you're good. That's good. You should say that for their self-esteem, that they're beautiful. But if your only compliments are around how they look, then what are you doing? You are reinforcing the societal message that you're only important for how you look. Yeah? So when we compliment our daughters, it's very important to say to them, based upon the skills they have, the achievements that they achieve. So if they pass the exams at school, or they get a test, they get a high score in a test, say, well done, I'm very proud of you, you did excellent, Fatima, that's a fantastic result. They learn a surah of the Quran, excellent, mashallah, you've learned a surah of the Quran, fantastic. If they do anything like achievement in their life, or they master a skill, I'm so proud of you, that was excellent. And we try and compliment them on their skills more than how they look. So we counteract the societal message that their worth is based upon how they look. You know, the Prophet, the way he treated Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anha is the way we should treat our own daughters. The Prophet was with the Sahaba in a room, and Fatima came, and then he said to Fatima, come here, and he made a space for her. He said, come, sit with me. And she sat in a prized place next to him. She sat in his gathering. She heard from him, and he showed her that he loved her so much, that he valued her so much that he wanted her to sit next to him. This is how we should treat our daughters. Yeah, our daughters. You know, sometimes I hear too much of that fathers. Sometimes they have a very good relationship with their sons, but they neglect their daughters, and this is wrong. This is not right. This is not the sunnah of Rasulullah. Rasul was, you know, Fatima would say that you know, when Fatima was when she was coming to the end of the Prophet's life, yeah, one person whispered in her ear, and he told her that he was close to death, and she cried, and then he said something to her, and she smiled, and then she was so happy. And then later on, she was asked, why did you cry? Because the Prophet told me that my father told me that he would die soon. And I said, why did you laugh? Because the Prophet told me that I will follow him very soon after. You know, this is the Prophet. The Prophet loved his daughter, and he showed her that he loved her. We need to do that ourselves. There is evidence, there's research done on this subject, that if the girl grows up in a home without her biological father, she goes through puberty sooner. Now I say that again because it's very important. If this daughter lives in the same house, doesn't live in the same house as her biological father, she goes through puberty sooner. And puberty is about maturity. Puberty, what is puberty? Puberty is about the body of a girl getting ready to give birth. Yeah? So a girl should typically go for puberty later. But girls are going for puberty earlier, sooner. Yeah? 9-year-old girls are going for puberty. Yeah? And then partly this is due to the lack of the biological father in the same house as the daughter. But also, if the father is involved in the life of the daughter, then the likelihood of that girl growing up not engaging in sexual activity earlier is lessened. Yeah? So the father being a part of that girl's life, of his daughter's life. And then a girl needs 3 things: affection, affirmation, and attention. And this is important because, showing affection, sometimes in the Asian culture, yeah, or in different cultures, showing physical, showing emotional love to your children is not the done thing. Sometimes hugging your children, people ask, why are you hugging your children? Yeah, why are you kissing your child? But this is actually wrong. Islamic this is wrong. The Prophet was once with Ikramah bin Habis, and he was a chief. And the Prophet kissed his grandson, yeah, either Hassan or Hussein. And the chief asked him, why do you do this? I have over 10 children, and I don't do this to my own children. And the Prophet said, if Allah has removed the mercy and love from your heart, what can I do? And he actually made it obligatory to parents to kiss their children, to hug their children, show physical affection to their children. This is the way the person to show physical affection to children, no matter how old they are, to show them that we love them. Yeah? Love is one of those things that you show not just by what you say, but how you show it to them. Yeah? Not just to say I love you to your children, but hugging them, yeah? Making them feel special, kissing them. This is part of the message, the sunnah of the Prophet. So affection, affirmation, to really reconfirm to them that they are important, and give them attention, give them our time. Sometimes we give our children everything but our time. We think our children want lots of expensive toys or lots of expensive gadgets. We give them an Xbox or the Wii, or we give them expensive gifts. And this is good to give gifts to our children to show we love them, but not replacing the time we spend with our children. Because our children yearn for our time. I was reading a story of this woman who said that I took my child to work today. And he said to me at the end of the day, that was the best day of my life. And she said to her son, why is that the best day of your life? He said, because you got to use all these things in my office, like the shredder, you got to use the printer, you got to use all these gadgets in the office. And then her son said to her, no, that's not why I enjoyed today. I enjoyed today because I spent time with you, my mother. And she thought, wow, this is amazing, yeah? Because we get this impression that our children want those expensive things that the 12, 14, 15-hour days at work provide for them. But no, they want our time. They want to spend time with us. They want time with their parents. And that's really what we should give them. This funny thing about the father, the father sets the bar, sets the high bar for the daughter, and says, this is what a man is. Yeah? This is what a man should be. So, when that boy comes to that daughter, to your daughter and says, look, I love you, you're so important to me, she's not going to fall for those words, those cheap words, because she knows that this person is just there out to get something from her. But if the father shows that this is not how a girl should be treated, a girl should be treated with love and respect, and this is through marriage, and she's less likely to fall for those words because she's got that father figure who sets the bar very high for her. This is very important. Television, television. I was speaking to my wife. We've got television in our house, and our children watch it. And we're talking about how to get rid of the television now. The television is, and this is not just about television is just bad. Television is bad for many good reasons. Yeah, researchers were doing some research into the impact of television, and it said that television gives you 6 key messages to girls especially. Because number one, your looks are the most important things about you. Look at those advertisements on TV. Especially the makeup ones, yeah? The makeup ones, they show women as just, it's your look. You need to be flawless, perfect, yeah? And this product will make you flawless and perfect. It sends a message to girls that what's more important about you, it's only about how you look, is the most important thing about you. Your physical, number two, your physical characteristics, your shape, your weight, your skin, your hair, your teeth, your color, your smell, are never ever good enough. Yeah? Nothing about you will ever be good enough. And this is shown on TV and reinforced continuously, either through advertisements or through the actual programs and soap operas and other teen programs, for example. Number three, sex is primarily a currency that you exchange for love, and attention, or for power. So sexual relations is a commodity that you use to get what you want. Number four, it's normal to have sexual relations with people you don't even know or especially like. Yeah? So these soap operas, these teen programs for girls and boys, the main characters, they engage in so many relationships with people. Yeah? And they're just casual one-night stands. And this builds in our children's minds, especially our girls' minds, that it's just about one-night stands, and casual relationships are the way to go. Number five, the world is a scary, lonely, and dangerous and competitive place. Better get going, you might lose a race. So everything's about competition, about achieving things for the sake of winning the race over and above everybody else. Number six, the answer to all of life's problems is to buy something. Television raises consumers, and consumerism is dangerous. Because consumerism is just about that next thing. You got that phone, I got a Samsung Note 2, but the Samsung Note 3's just come out, so I should get that, because I need it. Yeah? And then Samsung Note 3's come out, and then I need to get that Note 4. The iPhone 4, the iPhone 5, I need to get the next iPhone. Yeah? Even though 6 months ago I used that same phone fine, it had all the things I needed, all the things I wanted, not needed, because you don't really need most of the things that we possess as commodities. But now something better's come out, I need to get that. Today I got this laptop, it's a Samsung laptop, it's working fine, but now I need to get the better one, because it's got a lot more memory, it's got a lot more hard disk drive storage, it's much better than the last one. The process is much better. But 6 months ago I was using the other one, and it was working fine, and I asked, why do I need another one? So television builds consumers, and we don't want to build consumers. Yeah? Because consumers think that be all and end all of this life is about accumulating more and more goods, whether you need it or not. Let's go to our homes and think about all those gadgets that we bought that we never use. And I'm speaking about myself as much as anybody else here. And think about where do we get this message from? Where do we get this message that it's about consuming and about getting more and more things that we'll never use or need? And they did research. It says girls who are actively engaged in their religious and or spiritual life are healthier than girls who aren't. That's the conclusion of a year-long study of more than 3,000 American teenagers from every region of the country and representing every religious tradition. That the researchers found that teenagers who are actively engaged and are committed to their religious community are much less likely to smoke cigarettes regularly, drink alcohol weekly, or more often get drunk. They are more likely to not to drink alcohol and not to smoke marijuana. The size of the protective effect is startling. For example, only 1% of religious devoted teens smoke marijuana regularly or occasionally, compared with 21% of disengaged teens. These differences remain statistically significant even after controlling for teens' age, race, region of residence, parental marital status, parental education, and family income. What it's really saying to us is that, and this is part of the fitrah of human beings, that if you are religiously inclined, if you worship regularly, if you pray, if you are engaged in the religious community, you're less likely to engage in these reckless types of behaviors. Because, these things build boundaries. Yeah? If we didn't have Islam in our lives, yeah, it would be a free-for-all. We decide to do everything. Why would we treat our neighbours well? Yeah? Why? Why would we respect our parents? Why would we care about parents in old age when there's no benefit for us? Why would we smile at somebody else when they don't give us anything of benefit? Why would I help somebody who needs my help? Why would I spend hours in a day taking time away from work and important things in life 5 times a day to pray to Allah? Why would I sacrifice my sleep in the night to pray to Allah? Why would I do any of these things? It's only because we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and He defines for us how we live our lives that we see this as important. Similarly, our children, the most important factor is their relationship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is engagement with Islam in not a superficial way, where we see that it's all about just empty practices. They should have a deep and meaningful relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they should have a deep and meaningful relationship to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Really deep and meaningful. They should understand it and internalize it. So, in Islam it says 7 to 10 years is a formative age. All the hadith, all the Prophet's statements talk about 7 to 10. 7 to 10 are the training years. These are the formative years. Between 7 to 10, we teach them to pray. They come and pray with us. We make sure that prayer becomes a habit for them. Yeah, something that's part of their life, something that they connect with daily. 7 to 10, we start to get to fast in Ramadan. Not necessarily at 7 years old to fast every day in Ramadan, but they start to get the taste of fasting. We start to get them to think about giving charity at this age, from a young age. So it becomes part and parcel of their lives, their loves and hates. They love to give in charity. They love to help other people. We're building them. We're building their character. We're developing them as Muslims. 7 to 10, so at 7, you start to get them to pray, and by 10, you punish them for not praying. 7 to 10 are those years in which you try to get them to exhibit those behaviors of a Muslim. Yeah? Between 7 to 10, the pre-puberty years, you are getting to understand tahara, cleanliness. You're starting to get to understand the parts of the body through a contextualized way. Yeah. So when they wash themselves, you say wash your private parts, because if you don't wash your private parts, then your salah is not valid, not acceptable. You need to be tahir, you need to be pure, ritually cleansed. So we understand they understand wudu, they understand ghusl, they understand those things which invalidate ghusl. They understand about wet dreams, because wet dreams are the things which will come across in their lives which will invalidate their salah if they do not do ghusl before it, to cleanse themselves. We teach them these things in order that they understand in a contextualized way the change in their body. We say to them that when you go for puberty is a change in your life which is a positive change. It's not a bad thing. We show them that puberty is about them changing. In Islam, we don't have this understanding of teenagers. We don't understand teenagers. It's not a phrase which has any meaning in Islam, teenager. When they go through puberty, they are adults. If they are responsible to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for their deeds, then surely we should treat them differently. So when they go through puberty, we don't treat them as children. We still supervise them and ensure they're safe and ensure that we're reinforcing our values with them. But they are adults. They have more responsibility because they have more responsibility to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we say to them, you say to them, look, I went through puberty just like you, and there may be difficult times through puberty, and you explain all the things that happen through puberty, but when you get through it, everybody will get through it. Yeah? And if there's anything you want to talk about, you come to me. So, very quickly, because I know we're running out of time, I'm taking a lot of your time up already. Technology tips, there are some technology tips, talk about no laptop, TV or phones in their bedroom. At the end of the night, take away the mobile phone, and even your mobile phone, and put them in a central place in the house. Maybe in the parents' bedroom, charge it in the bedroom. Yeah? Don't let them have their phones on in their rooms. Yeah? Because firstly, it's a temptation, but secondly also, they should nighttime is the time for sleep. They should be disconnected from technology. This technology 24 hours a day is actually psychologically affecting people. Imagine you're in your bed and you get a beep from your phone and you check who's sent me a message on Facebook. What email have I received? What's the latest message on WhatsApp? All of these things we need to withdraw from technology, because our technology is not a good thing. Yeah. Technology is a good thing when we understand its uses. But when you're young, you can get very addicted to technology, and it can really take over your life. So we need to have it in a central place. No computers in their bedroom. No TV in their bedroom. Yeah? Everything should be in a central place in the house. And they should recognize that whenever they are on the computer, that you're going to be walking in and out of the room. And you're going to be looking over their shoulder. And so they need to be careful about their behavior. We need to discuss technology with our children. Negotiate acceptable use. What is technology for? How many hours a day do you use it for? I know probably all of you are like this. We know our children, they love to want to go on a mobile phone. Every time I come home from work, can I go on your mobile phone? Can I use mobile phone? And they're not bad, they're not set times. Yeah? So I said to them, okay, 5 minutes. You go on my mobile phone for 5 minutes only. Set the timer on the phone. When it beeps, you give it back to me. You're disciplining them. You're not saying that technology is something that they can do any time of the day. Even TV. Keep half an hour, watch your programs, turn it off, and then we're going to do something else. We're going to read some Quran, we're going to talk about something else, we're going to discuss, we're going to play together, whatever. Yeah? But set times for these things, so that they don't want it forever. Discuss digital footprint. Anything you put on Facebook, anything you put on the TV, on the computer, any image you send around is there forever, for everybody to see. Yeah? You can't control it after it gets on the net. It can get anywhere. So be careful what you put on the internet, especially when they're younger. You know, in the past, they could write something on Facebook, they could write something in their diary, and they could think about it and talk about it. But then now, Facebook statuses, they write it and they press a button and it goes straight away onto Facebook for everybody in the world to see. Yeah? Really, I think we need to discuss this with our children about digital footprint. Okay, but I think what is the most important filter? You can have filters on the computer, you can have filters from the ISP, filters on the different computers, but the most important filter is you. The one who has a discussion with them about different things, appropriate things, inappropriate things. Now I want to end with this. This is a 3-point plan I've developed. That number one, you know, when we discuss sexual relationships with our children, there are 3 things. One is there's essential elements. Yeah? Puberty, menstruation, nocturnal emissions, changes which are going to happen to their body. Yeah? Are definitely going to happen to their body. We need to discuss it with them before it happens. Yeah? We need to discuss about puberty and about the changes physically and how it also interacts with their life as Muslims. Yeah? They need to know that before it happens, and it shouldn't be on the eve of them changing or after it happens. We should drip feed that information to them when they're younger. So there's no set age. So from 5, we talk about they're going to go for changes later on in their life. For example, when I was with my son, we were going to pray one day, and he said, "Can I lead you in Salah? Can I be Imam in Salah?" I said, "One day your body will go through certain changes. Maybe your voice will change, your different hair will grow in different parts of your body, and when that happens, you can lead me in Salah." Yeah, that's acceptable. You can lead me in Salah. And so he's got this understanding in his mind about this, but he's probably forgotten now. So then I have to discuss that with him again and discuss it in a different way. So puberty and those things, essential elements, have to be discussed before they happen. Number 2, teachable moments. Everything that happens around him is a teachable moment. The actions of other people, the behavior of other people, things they see on TV, if you have a TV, things they see other people do, we use that as a means of teaching them about values. Yeah? You know, that's not what we do. We don't behave like this. You know, you saw that person behaving that way, that's not how we behave. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't like it when we behave in that way. This is not how we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we use things around us to teach them things. Number 3, honest answers to the questions. Our children need to know that if they have any question, even on a sensitive issue, they can come to us and ask us that. Because if they don't come to ask us that, who are they going to ask? Are they going to go to Google and type in information to find out information? Are they going to go to their friends in the playground? Are they going to go to that teacher? We need to discuss it with them. And the thing is also that if we withdraw them from SRE classes, we should find out what they're teaching in school so that we can preempt discussions before they happen. Because if their friends are going to be taught that at school, then they may be taught, their friends may speak to them about it. So we need to preempt that discussion before they have it in school. And the final thing is really live your values. Yeah? If we believe in the values that we hold, then live those values. Because we can talk the talk as much as we want, but at the end of the day, values are more often than not caught rather than taught. So what they hear, what they see from our behavior is more often than not the values that they grew up with. So may Allah enable us to live those values and may Allah enable us to be that primary educator for our children, and may Allah help us in this difficult task in a time where the dangers and the influences are so great. May Allah enable us. That's why the position of parents is so blessed, because we have such a responsibility. And imagine this, have this motivation in your mind, yeah, that when we die, all of our deeds are ended, our book is closed. But one of the things that continues is, that child, the child that we leave behind, who makes dua for us. Yeah, that child who makes dua for us. There will be a time where a parent, their level will increase in Jannah, and they'll say, look to Allah, how can my level increase in Jannah? Because I haven't done anything. Because you had a child who made dua for you, and just that dua for that father or that mother who's passed away, that will increase our level in Jannah. So think about our children as inheritance for us. They're what we leave behind to secure our akhirah. So we need to really invest in them in this dunya, inshallah.
First of all, I would like to thank Brother Yusuf Patel for an extremely informative, candid and thought-provoking presentation today. I think the important thing really is that we all take this message not only for ourselves, but also spread the word to other families, have discussions with your children, taking on board some of the frameworks that you have discussed today, and just have some time for reflection, essentially. Because, like you said, I too, and I'm sure many of us here, if not all, can see that this is only going to get worse, not better. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think, I for one, I'm very touched by what you said today and the time that you've taken to deliver this message, because it affects all of us, and that includes brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, however young or old they are. You mentioned that earlier. And I and Brother Sadat and the extra committee of the Slia and the wider community here who have attended would like to thank you, Jazakallah khairan, for your time and efforts today. And I'd also like to thank all of you for attending and giving up your precious Sunday mornings to hear what has been said today. One final thing. There are some reports here that Brother Yusuf would like us to pick up.